Hello and welcome. Here we are, baby. It's Wednesday. It's December 15th. We got about 2 weeks left in this amazing year we've called 2021. I hope your fantasy playoffs, I hope your fantasy season is continued in the playoffs. I hope you're having success. You've been listening to the show, you've been following the player pine. Odds are you're in the playoffs, baby. But today, as you know, all about the Fantasy Football Sevens format. We go over the top performances from each player today, and it's quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, kickers, because kickers matter, defense, defensive linemen, linebackers, and defensive backs. So we cover every position that's on the field technically at any given moment. All right. So and that's why you should do it. You know, this is Fantasy Football Sevens. If you are unfamiliar with it, it's a charity league as it sits right now. There's 48 teams that were competing for the ultimate claim of being one of the best IDP players in the world. That's how I look at it. And it's been a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of hard work. We got a lot of games come down to the very end. Um, and it's a format that I've perfected over 10 years of playing fantasy football with point systems that vary out. Once you read the points, you're going to understand how it all works out, how fun it is. Basically, just what a great joy it is to be playing fantasy football with more players. It makes you you become a much better. And you just understand football a little bit more just by simply playing in this format and playing IDPs. So without further ado, the week 14 top performances in the fantasy football sevens format, starting with quarterback. How about Joshua Allen? Led his team back. Looked like they were dead in the dust after halftime. But Josh Allen came back, got 43.22 points for his team to help him lose. Dalvin Cook, 38.7 points on Thursday Night Football. He did an amazing job. Held off all running backs all week. Wide receiver, how about it? It's about time you got back up here. My man, Devonta Adams with 32.1 points. Nice work, Mr. Adams. Had 2 touchdowns. You really did work against the Bears when we needed you. That was awesome. As the leading tight end in back-to-back weeks, the man that has got me in many best ball finals with his performance over the past 2 weeks. We're talking George Kittle in the fantasy football sevens format. He had 30.6 points. Are you freaking kidding me? What an amazing job. Kicker, Greg Zuerlein, 20.5 points, man. It's amazing. Dallas held off Washington. Big part linked to Greg the Leg. Uh, the highest scoring position of the week, once again, a defense. We're talking the Tennessee Titans. They put up 68.55 points because why? They pitched a shutout against Jacksonville, the Jaguars. So anytime you pitch a shutout in this format, you're going to get a lot of points because that defense probably won't have another shutout all season. 68.55 points for the Tennessee Titans made Trevor Lawrence look bad. I think Trevor Lawrence had negative fantasy points in this game. Welcome back, Mr. Aaron Donald. Good to see you back on the top of the list. 33 points behind those 3 sacks on Monday night. That's the way you do it. Highest scoring player at his position. Didn't happen until Monday night, and he helped some people win. It's pretty cool. Leading linebacker, I think it's Cole Holcomb. 29.35 for the Washington football team. Great score. He had that pick six, really helped out his team, gave him a fighting chance. And then coming in last, we got Mike Hughes, probably not owned on hardly any teams. DB, believe that is Kansas City. Kansas City defensive back, probably not owned in very many leagues, probably not worth picking up, but he had his week this week. And as you can tell, there's almost a direct correlation. All right. So the quarterback scored 43 points. The defense scored 68. They pitched a shutout. If they would have had a touchdown scored on them, we're talking about a 50-point swing or about a 10, 15-point swing. So there you have it. They correlate quite well. Defense to quarterback. Running back, 38 points. Oh, let's go look at this week. We have the defensive back. Guess what? They had 38 points. Seems to work out pretty well right there, doesn't it? We got the wide receiver. They're sitting at 32.1 points. Guess what? Aaron Donald had 33 points. Looks like it's balancing out. That's what Fantasy Football Sevens is all about, balancing out the points, making sure we're good to go, making sure that your IDPs have just as much roster value, just as much roster worth as your offensive guys. I would say 32.1 for the wide receiver, 33 for the defensive lineman. Pretty even. And then when we get to it, the linebacker, usually the highest scoring position, this week took third amongst the IDPs, 29.35. Well, guess what? George Kittle had 30.6. Pretty much balanced. You're talking about a 1.5 point, 1.3 point difference. So, the truth of the matter is it's a beautiful format. It counts out. You get the points to equal out. It's a lot of balance. Fantasy Football 7s, man. If you want to check it out, let me know. We're going to be going much bigger next year, looking to at least double it, taking it from 48 to 96, going worldwide IDP tournament. There you go. Top performances of week 14. You can also, you'll be able to find that. I'll post it as soon as we get done out of here. All right, now let's review the matches, man, because we essentially had a couple matches that were just playoff matches. There's no other way to get around it. They were the first week 14, hashtag Fantasy Football 7 is the weekly rewind. We have the 3 conferences named after 3 women champions in the great WWE. We have the Lita Conference, the Moolah Conference, and the China Conference, in which in those conferences you have 4 divisions each. So, you know what I'm saying? It totals out the 12 divisions total in the Fantasy Football 7 format. I can only have 1 game of the week per 16-team league, and this is how it broke down. Game of the week winner, man, I got to give it to Natural Disasters. He was playing ceremonial. He finished his season with 10 wins. It just wasn't enough, man. I'm so sorry, Phil. I was pulling for you. I really was, man. We had a lot of banter back and forth on the Twitter world, but make no mistake about it, my friend. I was definitely pulling for you, and you almost did it, man. You were the second highest scorer on the week, and you just fell 15 points behind the man you beat. If you would have beat him by just a little bit more, my friend, you would have been there. Looks like 262. Looks like you even got a stat correction when I went to bed last night. So you ended up being just 10 points behind, Phil. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. That's just how it goes, though. You gave it everything you had. Natural Disasters, you finished 10-4. It just wasn't enough in the point because you guys split head-to-head. You had the exact same division wins. You had the exact same conference wins. So it went to the point category, the ultimate tiebreaker after it's all said and done. And Cernomio got you, but you didn't win in the game of the week, Phil. For that, we salute you. 1 second. All right, yeah, sorry about that little break real quick. But yeah, Phil did it. It just wasn't enough. Once again, though, the highest points came from within the division. The man that had an 8-game win streak. Of course, I'm talking about Alex, man. Alex really did the dang deal. He ended up with the highest point of the entire league, actually, with 298.22. Knocked off Sandro. If Sandro would have won that game, he would have been in the playoffs. It's crazy, but instead, Cernomio backs his way into the playoffs because he was 10-1. He lost his last 3 division games. So, you start off with 3 division games, you end with 3 division games. He lost his last 3 division games and backed into the playoffs. It's crazy. But shout out to Phil for winning that one for sure. And, the highest score, Biyaka 619, baby, my friend, Fantasy Football Hustler, 298.22 points. I mean, my God. That is just impressive. That's just impressive. We move it over to the Moolah Conference, and we had a battle, and it was fun. We were all talking, going back and forth on Monday night. I mean, there was about 4 of us. We had Greg in the UK up at like 4 in the morning watching this Monday night football game unravel because Joey the Tooth, my friend, you won the game of the week, putting yourself into the playoffs as the division winner, my friend, and Andre the Giant division. You gotta love it. It was a game. This game went down to what was the score? What was the score here? It's on week 15. I was like, what's going on? The Tooth came back and won, and the score was 228.33 to 220.14. That last Cooper Cup touchdown, it moved him, or that last Cooper Cup catches. He had Matthew Stafford as well. The Tooth moved in, went to 8-6, took down it's Luke, who was on an amazing comeback. And 228 is not no slouch. I'm pretty sure that was the second highest score. So yeah, Jody, on the week you had the second highest score in your league, and the pressure was on, my friend. You delivered. You are in the playoffs. You took out everybody's favorite Pike man, Cooper's dad. He blew his opponent out of the water by a lot. but he just didn't make up the points. I'm sorry, Pike. You had 225, good enough for the third highest score on the week. Oh no, Greg had the third highest score in the week with 226, but Pike did not make it. The Tooth wins the division, but Cooper's dad, you had the most points put up against you. You always have that at least going on for you. 3,001.03 points, my friend. Good Lord. That might be the most points put up against anybody in the conference. I will put that sheet out later with some more interesting stats for everybody. But yeah, congratulations to the Tooth getting in there, getting the win, advancing to the next round of the playoffs. Hey, guess what though? The highest score, I was talking about all the scores and this and that. The highest score for back-to-back weeks is my man 5-yard rush Murph with 236.85. Great work, Murph, man. Way to do it, dude. You did it well, you did it right, and you're on a roll in the exact time you need to be on a roll. That's how you do it. Moving over to the China Conference, my friends, we have another game that required, hey, the loser, you're out. You're not making the playoffs. The winner, you're in the playoffs. That happened to be my friend New Age Outlaws, Ross D, 1987. He took off my former roommate, Bobcat's baby, and it was a tie win. Let's look back at the score. Let's see what we got here. Team Bobcats baby, 206.64. New Age Outlaws, 210.84. And guess what? Bobcats baby had Tyler Higbee. He went out last second, and that's what done him in. He could have maybe made up that 4 points, but you can't do it without anybody good on the roster. And Higbee, I feel like would have got you 4 points, especially in the half-point PPR league. It's just you never know. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the New Age Outlaws, moved to 7-7, and he will be playing. Now check this out. This is a very interesting statistic, because he will be playing Valerio Customs, and Valerio Customs scored 260.96 to get the best score of the week for the China Conference. Now check it out. He has done that. He has had the highest score for the China Conference 5 of the last 6 weeks. The 1 week he didn't have the highest score, you know who beat him? New Age Outlaws. And they are playing for the right to represent the division which they come from, the Undertaker division. And both of you guys are just at 7-7, so no losing records, but no winning records. And somebody's going to have a winning record in this division and going to be able to represent the Undertaker division and play Mick Foley. We all know that makes one of the most epic battles we've ever seen. So the Undertaker division, Valerio Customs, Ross D, 1987. Way to win at New Age Outlaws. You put yourself as a division winner. Valerio Customs, Valerio Customs has won. Let's just take a look at this for interesting little in-play. I don't know. This is what makes fantasy football fun to me. It's like being in a season, right? There's a story. What's the narrative here? And the narrative of Valerio has won 5 of his last 6 games. So he was sitting at 2-6, 2-6, and came back and he won. And he's in the playoffs. So shout out to Valerio Customs for doing that. But his one loss during that entire span came to the New Age Outlaws. And during those 5 of 6 weeks, he's had the highest score out of not just his division, but against every other 15 teams. He would have beat all other 15 teams. The one loss is to the New Age Outlaws. And you guys will be playing each other this week for the playoffs. My God, you can't make this stuff up. How fun is that, man? That's fantasy football. That's the script. How do you not love it? How are you not romantic about fantasy football? I mean, I'm serious. It is so fun. We got a story. We got a guy that's won 5 of his last 6 games. The one game he lost, the one time he didn't have the highest score of the entire conference, he lost to the guy he's playing against. How about that, man? So it's like if I don't score the highest, this guy's going to be right on my tail. That's why I love fantasy football. That's why I love the narrative. And it's just a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. So let's get down to it, man. Let's review who's going to be in the playoffs. Let's see who's playing in what division to represent what. And if you are part of this league, everything is updated, my friends. All you have to do is just go to there. Playoffs are updated. Right now, we'll start with the leader conference. Let's see who is representing each other in the playoffs for the right to represent the division. And be one of the last 4 teams. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be good. It's going to be real good. Starting out in the Eddie Guerrero division, we have yours truly, IDP Iggy, versus Flyer on the Wall. Guess what? I only lost one division game all year. Guess who it was to? Flyer on the Wall. Right now, he is scheduled to beat me by 3 points, and I'll be super pissed if I get to the week 15 and lose. And that's the most demoralizing thing in fantasy football. Because if you just make it to the first round, and lose, you probably aren't winning anything. You probably got no accolades, and now you're not even going to be able to have an opportunity to win and play for the top 3. That's crap. That sucks, man. That sucks so bad. But Flyer on the Wall, he's beating me. I have 2 losses. He's one of them, and I've got to bring it to him. We are playing for the right to represent Eddie Guerrero in the division. All right, and the next one, you guys know who it is. They've had this division clinched since like halfway through the season. Talking about the Kurt Angle division, my friends. And it's Sal T. Saylor, who says, I don't know anything about IDP. He finished 11 and freaking 3, man. And he just took on Mick last week, I believe. Didn't y'all play each other? Oh, no. No. But Mick, you guys have split. You guys have each beat each other once, 11 and 3. 9 and 5. We're talking Philadelphia Eagle fans. We're talking people that have a podcast together. They love the Eagles so freaking much. And now they are squaring it off for the right to be the Kurt Angle representative. Sal T. Saylor versus my man Mick Give. Rikishi Rushers versus Help. I don't know, IDP. One of you will be going on and advancing, my friends. In the Jeff Hardy division, we have the highest scorer in the conference with 3,224.63 points. Talking about my Friday co-host. You know him. You love him. I'm talking about Big Amo. And he's taking that league highest points against the man Ben Roth, PFN. 7-7, 2,845.82 points. You two gentlemen will be squaring off for the right to represent Jeff Hardy in the Elite Conference. Very important. I think they actually dated. I don't keep up with the love stories of the WWE. And representing the most entertaining division that we had in all 48 teams, all 12 divisions in the land. Of course, we're talking about the Rey Mysterio division. 10-4, 10-4, 10-4, 8-6. And Cernomio backed his way into the playoffs with 3 straight losses because his point total was so high coming back in. He has 2,951 points. And he's playing against the 4th-ranked team, the team on an 8-game winning streak after starting 0-6. 0-6, my friends. He's come back and won 8 games. 3,126.34 points during all this time. Fantasy Football Hustler 420. Booyaka 619, baby. It is going to be an unreal battle for the Rey Mysterio division. I don't know who's going to come out of that one, but they're going to have a lot of clout. A lot of saying they came out of the toughest division out of the 12 divisions in the Fantasy Football Sevens format. The only one without a losing record. All right, there's not a tie. There's not a tie record. The only division with all winning records. Amazing. All right, let's move it on to the China Conference. Some great battles going to be happening here. 8 teams left. Who's going to make it? We start off with the team that had the most points, and that, my friend, is Incubus Ryan Army with the Rock division. He had 3,137.13 points. Good God Almighty. 12-2 record. He's playing against Sam Whitley. Yes, sir. Was there not to like the Jonestown Massacre versus Joe Exotic? They just played last week. How do you like them apples? Oh, and shout out to Joe Exotic, my friend Ryan. I played with him for a long time now. He's beat me in a championship. He has not only the best record in this conference, he has the best record in our league of record. The man is just amazing. And he has 245.58 points to Jonestown Massacre's 197.88. You know what you're getting yourself into. It's a back-to-back match. It's going to be your third one of the year. By the way, everybody playing this week. It's going to be your third time to play this team you're playing against in a year. Pretty special. I think it's cool. That only happens in the playoffs in the NFL as well. Beautiful part of the schedule making. And fantasy football 7 is one of the best scheduling I've ever experienced, because I created it. But 197.88 for Jonestown Massacre. You're going to have to bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. You got to get it up. But that is the match for the Rock. If you smell what I'm cooking, that's a good tight division. Moving it over to the Heartbreak Kid division, man. Gary H. 89. He's bringing Hassel back. 10-4. 2,866.78 points. And this is where I feel bad. I feel so bad for Queen Roxanne. 12. She had a 7-7 record, better record than the other two people, but just for the ways of keeping it simple, we take the division winner and we take the highest points. And although her record's better, she did not have the highest points. She had 2,521.12, while Sports Liddell had 2,806.28. So we default to the points for the wild card teams per division, and it's 6-8. Sports Liddell versus bringing Hassel back to represent the HBK division. Undertaker division, it's just insane. Like I said, no winning records in this division. Valerio Customs, 5 of his last 6 games, he's been the highest scorer. He finished the season with 3,030 points. Okay? Good enough to get the wild card because Ross D, 1987, beat Bobcats Baby and won the division with the 7-7 record. And now these two gentlemen are playing again. And the only week Valerio Customs didn't have the highest score in his conference. Ross D, 1987, the New Age Outlaws took his booty down, baby. And this is the Undertaker division. One of you two are leaving in a casket. Make sure it's not you. What a battle for the Undertaker division. I love it. I love it. Moving it over to the Mick Foley division, the guy that dominated most of the season. I'm talking about the Jabroni Beaters. He was the last undefeated team. He made it through 10 weeks before he had his first loss. Since then, he's gone 2-2, though. Will he be able to step it up as he plays Tyler 250R, who had a 7-7 record? Another team I feel awful for. B. Smitty 1-2-3-1-1-4. I mean, my God, man. He had a 10-4 record, not making the playoffs. Don't worry, the Rey Mysterio division had 2 teams that had the 10-4 record, not make it as well. I feel awful. But the truth is, if you wanted the wild card spot, you had to score the points. Tyler had a 7-7 record. He had 2,912 points put up against him in this conference, but he was able to put up 2,908, which was better than B. Smitty's 2,674. So he has earned the right to fight the Jabroni Beaters. That's going to be a battle. That's going to be a battle. A Stone Cold takes on the Jabroni Beaters for the right to represent the Mick Foley division. Holy mackerel. Got goosebumps thinking about that one. That one's going to be a great one. That's going to be a great one. All right, let's go back to week 14. Let's look at the league. Let's see what's going on in the Ultimate Warrior division. Moolah Conference, one of my favorites, man. A lot of activity, a lot of people talking, a lot of competitive games coming your way. WJ Schuler, 1976. He has had it wrapped up for a while. He finished 10-4, 3,000 points, playing against Fernando Timbo, representing the South American continent, my friend. You cannot let them down. It's WJ Schuler, 1976, 10-4. Fernando Timbo, 9-5. Only 27 points separating these guys after an entire season. My God Almighty, who is going to represent the Ultimate Warrior in that one? It's anybody's guess. Representing one of my favorite wrestlers, the Kamala division. We have the man that led the conference. It's all point total, 3,134.27 for the back-to-back highest score. Of course, we're talking 5-yard rush Murph. My God, champion. Made it to the playoffs in 69% of his leagues. He was at almost 100, I feel like. You know the guy knows what he's talking about. Murph, you're one of my favorite, man. You're great at this. And you're in the playoffs, my man. A 9-5 record. Guess what? You're playing against Tyboski. 2,746 points. Just edged out Team Hammer, who had 2,739 points. You're talking about a less than 7-point victory to get to the playoffs. Last week, Tyboski up against 5-yard rush Murph. It's going to be a battle. 9-5, 7-7 for Kamala, the man that body slammed Andre the Giant before it became a big deal. He's the real freaking deal. Moving over to the Iron Sheik division. This one was close. Another one. I feel bad for my man Folio. Folio, he could have had all the bragging rights over Jeff, who is sitting at 7-7. Folio, you're 8-6. Just didn't happen that way. My friend Luis Vanez, you didn't have to worry about nada. You punched your ticket to the division playoff dance 2 weeks ago. You're sitting at 9-5. You won the Iron Sheik division, a very competitive division. Rich had 2,742 points. He had the 6-8 record. The only one with the losing record. I love you, my man, Rich. No shade being thrown. Just saying this was a really tough division. Rich was sitting at 5-2, lost 6 games in a row. Just turned the season around. But we're gonna have Vanez Lewis out of the UK fighting my man in Kentucky. I hope he's all right, man. I hope you're doing good, Jeff. You haven't been on the group chat a little bit for the Warrior Bowl finalists. 2,931.21 points, the most in the division. 10-man 402 versus Luis Vanez for the Iron Sheik division. It's going to be freaking amazing. Andre the Giant, this is the one that went down to Monday night. We had so much talk. Was it going to be Cooper's dad? Was it going to be the Tooth? Was it going to be NATO? Who was going to make it? Although Cooper's dad didn't, he had 3,000 points put up against him. That's the way it goes, my friend. We had the Tooth clinching the division. It's an 8-16 versus an 8-16 for the right to be on Andre the Giant. Take it to Princess Bride and win it all, baby. Talking the Tooth versus NATO NFL, UK versus US battle. It's going to be amazing, man. Who's going to step up and win the Andre the Giant division, which was one of the most competitive divisions out there in all 12 of the divisions. That is our playoff battle, my friend. I will have updates on Twitter. I will be posting cool memes and gifts, and we will be getting this thing going. Hey, if you didn't make it to the Fantasy Football Sevens tournament and you want to get in with the best IDP conference worldwide tournament, I'm talking 3 continents, baby. We just did it. It's our first year. Imagine how great it's going to be next year. If you want to hop in on that, check out Iggy's Fantasy and Betting. Shoot me a message on there. Hit me a DM. We're going to get the Google form set up this week. Going to get people signed up as soon as we can. We're going to donate next year. I think next year is going to be some amazing, amazing contributions from other people. I found out there's NFL players that have gone through some of the similar experiences that we have. This was all for Kawasaki kids affected by Kawasaki's disease, triggered by its autoimmune response to a disease once it enters your body. There were abnormally high numbers of Kawasaki's disease during the first year of COVID. There's no proof that there's a connection, but all data indicates there are. My daughter died at, when she was 10 months. We had to stay 9 days in a children's hospital. She had to be jetted out. Very traumatic experience. The whole goal of this was to raise awareness, let people know what Kawasaki's disease is, because prior to us getting it, I thought of a Kawasaki, I thought of a dirt bike or a quad, I thought of a recreational vehicle. It's a very serious disease that affects millions of people. If you don't catch it soon enough, there's lifelong effects. They don't even know the data for 40, 50-year, long-term effects of this stuff. So we got to share the knowledge. We got to share people. We got to make sure people understand these things. Make people aware. Knowledge is power. Knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe, all that stuff. You can't. If you're not aware of something, you're not going to know what to do about it. You're not going to know what it is. So you can't do much about that. All right. That's why this started. We're going to expand it next year. I think there's going to be some. We're going to get some good people on board. And don't forget, guys, you're all playing for You're all playing for prizes. This is all for charity, but I'm giving out prizes out of my own pocket. Whoever has the highest score of all the championship games, you're going to get a couple of very nice prizes. The people out that just win, you win the 16-team conference. That's an honor in itself. You're going to get some memorabilia from your favorite NFL team. You're going to get some Iggy's F&B memorabilia as well, and we'll be fine. So we're going to keep it competitive. There are prizes given out. I mean, it's an honor in itself just to win a 16-team league. It's incredibly difficult to do. Your chances of winning a 16-team league come in at 6% to begin the year. 6%. You tell people you got a 6% chance of winning and having you have a 6% chance of succeeding at whatever your goal is in life, most people are going to give up. So thank you for not giving up. It's a 6% chance to win in a 16-team league. Think about that. Iggy's Fantasy and Betting.com. Go check out the website for all your needs. We got articles, man. We just published the waiver wire picked up. Maybe you need to look at that. Maybe somebody didn't pick it up in your league in the playoffs. I'm talking playoffs here, baby. So go check that out. Over 100 articles for you to read. Every podcast is on there. We upload it there as well. Hey, if you're joining on the Leash live stream, leave us some comments, man. Let me know what you need for your playoffs. I'll be glad to answer. Thank you, Second Take Extra, bro. I really appreciate it. What's up, man? Yeah, dude, it's just I want to help you win, even if you're not in this format, if you're not playing in mine, even if you don't play IDPs, I don't care. Let me know who's on your team, how the points break down. I'll be glad to help you with any roster decision we can. Last week we went out, we were in the bottom of the barrel of the betting. We came up a few units last week. Very good. Let's get the betting questions out there too. We know who teams are. You're not BSing us. We know who's scoring touchdowns. We know who's running the ball. We know who has good defenses. The data is there for us. The eye test is there for us. Hit me up with any of your betting questions also. IDP Iggy, I really appreciate you guys being here. I really enjoy being your commissioner if you're in the Fantasy Football Sevens format, and I will talk to you soon. Take care and bye.